Hello, this is Vaughn Clement. This is the tour of Servicemen Pro. It's a fairly new application. It's only been out a few months. It's a step up from the Serviceman Business, which was about a 2-year-old application. You might call this lessons learned, where applications often go. They grow up. In this particular case, the original Serviceman Business was more of a lightweight application, where this one is intended to cover everything in the block. As you can see by looking at the menu options that are available here, take a few seconds to look at them all. There is quite a bit in this application. You might call this a giant killer. In this application, I've included all the newest tips and tricks and things that we've created to include what we're talking about up here, where this will show that you can add records in one app window but not in another. Anytime you see a lock, do not add records. This also includes international money symbols. There's up to 50 countries in here, and you can add more if you want to. Technical support's right on the front page. Let's start this tour, and I'm just going to be hitting the high spots for the obvious reason. There's a lot here, and it would take an awful lot of time to cover everything. I will try to cover at least the first section in the first movie, and it might add additional movies as we go through them. One of the most interesting things about this new application is the user interface and some of the innovative tools that are added to it. For example, if you're adding a client appointment for a service or whatever things you're going to be doing in this Serviceman Business type of environment, you can use this particular tab here, and as you add appointments for this particular client, this will keep a history of all the appointments for this client. When you go back to the main tab, for each screen where you have a client, like this one up above, and you add a client appointment, the date and time will be sorted out, and this will be a record of all the appointments that are current. And this is in reverse order, so if you scroll down in this, it would have the older ones and then the newest ones at the top. If you click on this record here, it goes into a larger screen version of this, so you can add more narrative to it. If you want to return to the main screen, just go ahead and click on Customer Appointments, and it takes you back. This application also has a series of screens that will vary depending on what screen you're in. We'll give you options to go see different screens. And as you saw on the main menu, there are quite a few to move through. This is a scrollable area where each client that's in the file can be scrolled through, or you can click to the particular client by clicking, for example, let's click John Smith, and you can see it changes the record, and in the appointments it shows his appointments. At the end of the row, if you click on the X, it will take one of the old appointments off if you wanted to get rid of it. And if you wanted to see all the appointments for the appointment list view, you would click this one. This is a viewable one. There is an additional list view for printing if you want to print one. And it's row by row for each appointment. This also can be used in conjunction with the find, either to find a date range and time, or clients, or completed, or pending records. Whatever you want to do, you can search by any one field in this screen. And for example, like repairs or service, you can search by those as well. Going back to the screen here, let's go back to the main menu so we can kind of track through the way everything is put in. There's a customer locator, and in the customer locator it uses the address for the customer and gives you a Google Map view plus a picture and directions. If you wanted to see the list view for all clients, you have a list view for clients, so you can get them in client order, and once again you can use a find to find a particular client in the listing. There are service quotes. We're not going to cover those in this video. It'll be in the next one. Let's go back to the main list. We touched on the calendar. There's a appointment portal, a list view, another list view. Anything below the double lines here will not show on the iPad for one reason. These are items that are reports or custom list views. And because the processor on the iPad cannot manage those, you use the companion app to see your list views and also your reports. There is a list view available that is in the user guide that explains how to show list views on the iPad, depending on what screen you're in. And that's kind of a shortcut to being able to see them, but they're not custom. So the fields will be in whatever order they were entered in. I'm going to jump out of this for the time being and come back in with a second video that will continue on from here.